Hey everybody, welcome back. Hopefully everybody had a Merry Christmas. It's a couple days afterwards. I know we certainly did around here. So this is going to be weekend update number 3. Didn't do a lot of stuff in the shop last, actually it's been like 2 weeks now. We did work on a couple things. So the first thing is, let's see what Santa brought us. He brought a few things by for the shop. So let's take a look at that first, and then we'll bring you guys back. And Santa was kind enough to drop a few things off for the shop. So let's take a look. We got some more tool holders for the lathe. Those are always handy to have, and we need to build up our stock of them. And this is something that I had on the wish list for a while, some thread wires, nice brown and sharp, a really nice set. That'll come in really handy. And we got collet blocks. We got both the square and the hex. Came as a set, obviously, and has the draw block, cam style, and 2 of the draw rings as well. If you have something long that has to go all the way through, and you can't use this guy, we're going to have to make a pin spanner wrench. So that'll be a nice little project to make a wrench for these. And we were testing it out with one of our collets, and everything's great. The finish on these is really nice. They did a really good job on the grinding, so very happy to see that. They look like they're very accurate. Okay, and we got one of these 7-in-1 nut drivers from Klein. Goes from 1/4 inch all the way to 9/16, and then we got one of these blue self-coiling air hoses, type with the extended ends on it. So I'm excited about this. We've just got the yellow ones that constantly fight you. They're constantly trying to pull the air gun or whatever you have connected out of your hand. Where these are nice and soft, and it has the straight section on the end, so you don't have a coil wrapping around your arm when you're trying to use the air tool. And then a set of welding gloves. These are the Lincoln, I think they call them the Red Line. Very nice. They're all good stuff for the shop. So Santa and everybody else who contributed, thank you very much. And hope you guys all had a Merry Christmas. So the next item is a 3-jaw chuck that was on a dividing head, and the 3-jaw chuck on the lathe is in bad condition. So I got this one on the dividing head that looks to be pretty nice. So let's take a look at that, and we're contemplating putting it on the South Bend Heavy 10. So let's take a look at that and come back. So here's another project that we're looking at. This old 3-jaw chuck. It's a Bison. I mean, originally it was a a premium quality chuck. This thing's very old, and the scroll is worn out. So even though I've cleaned this thing up and have reground the jaws, they're only accurate where you grind them. So if you put a different diameter piece of stock in, you're going to get different runouts, and it's all over the map. So it's just worn out. Okay, let me show you what we're thinking about. So as you guys know, we've been messing around with dividing heads, and the original one that came with my mill had this chuck on it. And John Palmer, who was the owner, I'm sure he's the one who fitted this guy up. And I've been trying to find some information about this brand. It's a PC from China, but haven't been able to find anything. But it appears to be well made. It's got two-piece jaws. The negative part is just like all the imported chucks. It was just full of grit and burrs. It was actually uncomfortable to handle the parts. There were so many sharp edges and burrs and whatnot, and just leftover grit from manufacturing. And then there was a few chips in here. I mean, this thing is basically brand new. It really hasn't been used. I've got all the parts cleaned up. We had some tarnish. So it's a 6-inch. The jaws, the fit is really nice. I mean, there's no slop. You can't feel any movement at all.
So I think it's a pretty good quality. I mean, the finish on the grinding is a little rough, but you know, as long as it's flat. And then
I don't have a Rockwell hardness tester, but I tried to put some center punch marks on the back side here to identify, you know, which I didn't think they were numbered, and center punch just bounces off. These things are hard, but they do have, if I get this right side up, everything's serialized, numbered. That's number 3, and the main jaws are numbered as well. There's number 3. The part numbers or serial numbers all match up. So seems to be really good quality. Only thing that's a little wimpy is it only has 3 mounting holes, but they're way out on the perimeter, so that'll give it a lot of strength. The scroll looks to be well made. I mean, it's like new. Yeah, here's the backing plate. So John had made this, and it looks like he used a piece of scrap that had some porosity in it. You know, but heck, it worked. So what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to put this together, but I'm going to order a backing plate that's already threaded to fit my lathe, and I'll machine it to fit this guy. So that'll be up and coming. So we got the main jaws back in. This thing is really smooth. Yeah, this is it seems to be very well made. Well, we'll find out when we get it all made up with the back plate and get it on the lathe and see what kind of run out we have. But man, so far so good. I just got to put the top jaws on still. You guys don't need to see that. Yeah, so I've got to either find some material to make a new back plate or just buy a semi-finished back plate. I've got some steel. I'm not sure if I want to try making one out of steel or not. And of course, it'd be way easier just to buy one that's semi-finished with that's already got the correct spindle thread and so forth on it. That's probably the way we're going to go. I just need to do some more looking and see if I can find one. Okay, so the last item, I've got an old table saw that has wheels on it to make it easier to move around, and I've been fighting these things for years. They're just cheap plastic wheels. So I was using it a few days ago and finally said I got to do something. So let's go take a look at that and see what kind of solution I came up with. Hopefully it'll work out good. Only time will tell. All right, let's take a look at that. Got a little shop repair to do on this old table saw. This is a pretty old Craftsman. It's got a cast iron top, all steel. The side table's aluminum, and I think the arbor mechanism is aluminum. But anyways, we've been fighting with broken wheels on this thing for years. It's got these wheels in the back here. These are still working, but they're not that smooth. And I've already popped the caster off of this one. So these crank down so you can raise it up off the feet and then roll it around. So here's what we got here. So as you can see, that wheel's seen better days. And then this is one, the redneck repair. It's a pulley off of something. So we got some line skate wheels for free from one of the neighbors. There's two that are slightly smaller in diameter and two that are larger. We'll put the larger on the back, and these two will go on the casters. And they're gonna fit right in there. We got bearings. We had to buy those. And we're gonna make some new axles. 5/16 bolts go through these bearings perfect. So let me get started on this. These are riveted over. I'm just gonna cut the old axle in two in the center. That way I can punch out or drive out each half without having to do grinding on the heads here. Should be a little cleaner. We got that apart okay. Just cut it in half with the little cutoff wheel and a Dremel tool. So there's a flat on one of these, so that's going to be a little tricky to drill out. I might have to use an end mill, or maybe a step bit might do it. So I know what you're thinking. Why didn't I just go down to Horrible Freight or Home Depot or something and just grab some new casters? Well, these things are not that easy to match up, especially because of this jack screw. So, you know, the caster snaps in to the end of this jack screw and swivels. So you can get them with the 4-bolt mounting that are made to mount on something flat. And you can get them with the stem. The 4-bolt ones are very popular. There's a lot of different ones available. But the ones with a stem are not that easy to find in the diameter and the length that you want. And then to get a decent wheel in there at the same time, it was much easier just to modify these. All right, so I got to press these bearings in, drill this out, and bring you guys back. So welcome to Redneck Machining 101. I just got an old crappy end mill in here, and this thing is not easy to hold. So, all right, let's see what happens. Might be a disaster. It's already been drilled out, but it's not. It's just slightly undersized. We just need to open it up a little. Well, that was pretty uneventful. All right, let me do the other 4. Okay, so we got through the drilling all right. Now we got to fit the wheels. I had to do a little grinding on this one. It was a little too fat. So I just had to take a little off and then a little off the circumference. Let me get the other one prepped like this, and then we'll fit them up. All right, so these are looking good. So now I just got to cut off our bolts. I wanted to have a nice solid shoulder going through there, and I had these in stock. So we're gonna cut them off. I'm probably gonna leave enough for 2 nuts, just so I have extra meat to get the thread started, and then I can cut them off later after we put them together. Okay, we're using our Wells Brothers die and die stock. Good quality threading gear is just so nice. You don't have to fight it or anything. Worth every penny.
Okay, these are ready to go.
Even if you did, would those bolt on there? I guess they would.
We got the excess cut off, deburred. And these things roll great. Okay, it's gonna be much better. Working on the back wheels now. Already got the old ones off. We've already drilled out our axle holes. Just got to put the bearings in the wheels, put the axles in, check the fit, and so forth. We're ready for assembly. We've got our custom bolts. We got to put washers in for spacers. Wheels are ready, brackets are ready. All right, let me get these put together. Got them together. They're ready to go. Getting those washers in there was a little fiddly, but yeah. Okay, just gotta go put them on the saw. Okay, this is so much better. Yeah, we can just wheel it right around now, like nothing. So, hopefully these wheels won't distort from the weight, but I think they're a superior wheel than what we had before. Well, this might start another project. I need to put bearings in the arbor, so we might be seeing this thing again.
Yeah, we'll have to see how those line skate wheels work out. They seem to be, you know, pretty smooth and durable, and I like the fact that they have real bearings in them. And I've got a couple more. These are from scooters, and they're the, you know, same style with the little ball bearings in them, and these things are pretty durable. So might be thinking about using these on some other projects, you know, for carts and such that just have cheap plastic wheels and need to be updated. So yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of these scooters laying around with the grandkids and so forth, and you know, these came off of one that was broken. You know, just saved the wheels off of it. But, yeah, I think these things are readily available. You see them for free all the time on Craigslist and whatnot. Okay, so that's probably going to be a wrap for this week. We are working on another dividing head, getting it cleaned up and refurbished. So that should be coming out here shortly. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by.